Good day, guys. Hello, everyone. Hello, Tatiana. Hi, Ivan. I really pleased to see everyone and to meet online today on this very good sunny weather. And this is the first moment when we collectively combine the three specialists in the different domains, which is related to the foreign investments and what is maybe interesting for the Ukrainians and for Moldavians investors, and for those who are planning to do investments in these two countries. And I would like to present my friends and my colleagues, Tatiana Goncharenko. She is the partner of the Crow Mikhailenko from Ukraine and the head of the department regarding of the investments and business advisory at Crow Mikhailenko. So she is expert in the structuring companies, structuring of the holding organizations. A couple of weeks ago, we prepared with Tatiana the webinar on the theme about the shareholders office and the family office. We gave the very good information for the owners of the company, how the best way to structure the companies. And today, Tatiana will share with us her knowledge regarding the process of preparing the investments in the different directions, and of course about the wealth management. Speaking about the Ivan, Ivan is the president of Redia and the CEO and secretary of the council responsible for the foreign developing investments and screening in Moldova. He more than 10 years experience in these directions and have a very vast experience in the investments implementations. Of course, Ion, do we have also Vladimir with us? Because I can't see
Yes,
him.
yes.
Yes,
Hello,
Vladimir.
everybody. Yes, Vladimir is
Yes,
is.
yes, Vladimir. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
We have a long story knowing each other with Vladimir, and also we are making some common job together and had interesting practice abroad. And Vladimir is the very good specialist in math, not only in the math. It is just what I remember. But it is the Comsales Group. From my point of view, it is one of the best companies in Moldova, well structured, and this is the company which really can help to the investors to land in Moldova, and of course to prepare the good production utilities. We had the project with Vladimir when the company came as investor to Moldova, and Vladimir's company prepared the whole business process, and they constructed the plant for this investor in Moldova on the highest level, on the best highest level as it is possible. So I would like to give for each of you a couple of minutes to represent yourself and maybe to add what I missed, and then we can move forward for reviewing the detailed presentations you have prepared. So Tatiana, ladies first, please.
Thank you so much, Ivan, for so warm introduction. Yes, my main expertise it's investment management, and we support investors with construction of investment deals, and typically when we're talking about investment in Ukraine, we have top main questions. It's who could be a best partner for foreign investor in Ukraine, what form of structuring this deal could be. This is my motivation to go into industrial parks in Ukraine, to say I'm a huge advocate of this form, and I'm really inspired how it could work. And third of all, I'm definitely a fan of cluster mechanisms, how to organize collaboration between companies that could be beneficial for all sides. So this is my background of expertise, and I will be happy to share all opportunities here. And truly to say, I'm hopeful that we will have some questions and we can maybe answer them in our meeting today.
Okay, thank you. Ivan?
Thank you, Ivan. First of all, I would like to take some thanks to Crow team for this opportunity, and also for the people who is present. Thanks for your time. And I want to just add, I have about 10 years experience in FDI attractions and also on export promotions. And if it's interesting and for the people, I'm former director was former director at the Invest Moldova agency until 2024 year. I think it's enough for the start.
Okay, thank you. Vladimir, couple of words about yourself.
Hello, thank you, Ivan. My name is Vladimir Balaban. I am owner and director of company Comsales Group, who build and rent building for the investors in the Republica Moldova for the parks.
I just
Thank
read that building the huge and big plants in Moldova.
Yeah, we develop parks in Moldova.
Okay, so I know that every one of you have prepared the presentation, and we do have the two directions to go to speak about Moldova and about the Ukraine. Tatiana, would you be glad to start, or?
I think it's better start from Moldova side. You have like more representation here. I'm sure that you have definitely interesting stuff to share, and then I will add some points and some comparison with Ukrainian legislation and benefits that we have.
Thank you very much for your pass, and Ion, I'm sure that you can share your presentation if possible. You can share the screen and
yes, just please confirm if
yeah, I do
my
see.
Yeah, we
presentation.
see you.
Yes, all good.
Okay, we can start. I think we think to call this presentation investors in Eastern Europe um, in the field of benefit of UE expansions, and we see Ukraine and Moldova the next country who make this expansions in the UE memberships. About Redia, we are association who is or with the largest members in the local market, developer and investors in non-residential spaces, only non-residentials. We cannot speak about apartments or houses. And we think and we compare with Romania also. Romania become an investment attraction champions and double its GDP in 12 years just because they are a member of European Union. And two markets, Moldova and Ukraine, we want to or if they will be in the European Union, they will have market access until 400 million people, affordable workforce. We legislation is more flexible when we speak about employment legislations. Investment incentives, we compare Moldova with Romania in these incentives, and we see the incentives in this field and also to attract investor in industrial parks is more attractive than Moldovan. And if we see at the experience in Romania, also in Poland, the industrial sites or industrial platforms is more developed. And for us, for Moldova, it's planning to join the EU family by 2030. A short presentation about Moldova. Our key economic partners is EU, We have until 22.5 million people. It's like Odessa regions. Our main city is Chisinau, about 1 million people, and official language is Romanian. Shortly, presentation about our free trade agreements. We have the biggest or the useful trade agreements of European Union, DCFTA, start 2014. And also we have of CSI, EFTA, Turkey, and a special accord with UK. But 73% of our export is to UE customers, and about 82% of FDI is come also from UE countries. We shortly will speak about logistical points. Last 4 years, we are invest a lot in our roads, but if we stay at roads, I want to speak a little bit about 2 bridges. One bridge is at board of Ukrainian who will connect Kiev speedily with Chisinau, and one bridge is at border with Romania, connect Moldova with the 2 biggest autobahn who is now in construction in Romania, A7 and A8, who connect Romania with all UE country. And also, I want to remind the road rail corridor, who is in plan of UE country, road rail corridor Odessa, Chisinau, Iași. In my opinion, will create enormous opportunities for industrial park and logistical hubs. And why not this free city can be like Vienna, Bratislava, Budapest, well connected, and also to railway. About air transportations, our main airport is in capital Chisinau, but now the governmental decide to make a PPP propose about, we speak about Marculești, and this airport will be only for cargo transportations. And also maritime logistics. Moldova have the maritime port is international free port Giurgiulești. Workforce, our average gross wage is about 600. It's lowest wage rates in the UE, if you compare with UE countries. Also, we can speak of multilingual workforce. We speak Romania, English is widely, also Italian, French, and Turkish. And flexible legislations. Recently, we approved by governmental decisions legislation about IT nomads, but some sectors have some specific regulations in this field. And industrial platforms. We can divide industrial platforms in Moldova in 2 types. 3 economic zones, but I think these zones will migrate in industrial park because the tax incentives can no longer be granted from 2024. It's part of our commitment to be part of UE community. And when we speak about industrial parks, we have 3 types of industrial parks. Type 1 is general. Type 2 specialized in, example, electronics or R&Ds, and Type C multifunctional industrial platforms. We speak only about state investment in these multifunctional industrial platforms. And general provisions for this industrial platform or industrial park is available state ID for investment exceeding 500,000 euros. Special offer for procurement or lease, brownfield developments, something special for customs or for banking process in these areas. Some example in this field. One is industrial park Ungheni, and we select this example because Ungheni is on the border of Romania, and we think in Redia this city will be a we have a possibility to be a boom in logistic hubs, and we have in this area up to 4.2 hectare available. And one more example is industrial park in Comrat. It's up to 4.8 hectare available. This is a very interesting platform because it's near Giurgiulești port, the south part of Moldova, and also in this area we have more workforce in this part of the country. And one proposal with governmental proposal for potential investors is multimodal logistical center, Berești railway terminal. It's near border of Romania. It's in Ungheni. It's main idea is proposed to PPP project this logistical, in our opinion, project. What is important for this project? They have double standard of gauge. One is European and one is post-Soviet country. It's available also for Ukrainian and Moldova. And second, this location is near the bridge who is start constructed between Moldova and Romania, and near the A8 autobahn who will connect all Romania with Hungary and all country, European country. Yes. About our general tax, custom and custom rates, we have 6 dividend taxes, 12% corporate income taxes, 12 VTA, and until 50% custom duties. And our governmental or state ID program, incentives program, 60% of investment made is refunded, but we have 2 big conditions. Minimum investment value needed to be is to invest is 500,000 euro, and we have the governmental decide to select the specific sectors. You speak about electronic, staffel, building materials, food industry, and pharma and chemical and automotives. If you consider Moldova as your new investment destinations, Bredia can help you to make due diligence and feasibility studies, construction and development assist, and also recruiting and staff management, and when we speak about construction projects. And second, I think, but very good news for us, recently Euronews published Moldova is the best European country for real estate investment in 2025, according to UK insurance company William Russell. And for more details, please contact us. Thank you for your attention. I think was shortly and very, very explicative.
Ivan, if you let me, I would like to return to the slide with the taxes, and maybe we can shortly, briefly, to explain to our visitors that there are some additional facilitation for these regions. You told about the industrial parks places where at least they are out of the common taxation system of Moldova, because they have additional facilities, not only the amount of the state help, but also they do have the taxes exemptions if you perform the investments in Moldova in these zones.
Yes, Ivan, thanks for questions. Yes, if you have company already in free economic zones until 2024, these taxes for acceptation from tax was available. But right now, I think the best or the program or the incentives who is available is this state ID of 60% of investment is refunded, because right now, if we speak about free economic zone, we cannot be able for new come investors. If when we speak about platforms, they are free economic zone. But if I invest today, we do not, your company is not available to have this special incentives. Only this for investment is in this field. But when we speak about industrial park, yes, industrial park title is guaranteed for 30 years. And we have some exemption for the transfer tax of the land from agriculture land to industrial land, and special right applied to rent and privatization of the related land. But we do not can speak about some exceptions about dividend tax or corporate income tax.
Yeah, and the VAT, if I remember, also you can be if you stay in the free economical zone, you is not the subject of the VAT payment. In the case if you make all the processes inside the zones and you don't export to the Moldova. So it is very, if I'm not mistaken, very good place where you can refurbish or perform the processing job. So you just import the goods, make them to be remade in these zones, and then you make re-export, and it will be no additional taxes and I mean no additional VAT or duties, custom duties on this matter.
Yes, if you this opportunity right now we have not only in free economic zone, you can take the customs warehouse or entrepozit vamală, yes, we call in Romanian, and it's available for industrial park or whatever you have this place to investment. It's applicable and it's zero VTA. You're correctly.
And if we're speaking, sometimes when I'm speaking with the foreign companies and funds and investors, they always ask me, what are the bullet points to invest Moldova? Why we should consider Moldova the place where we need to bring our money? Of course, for most of them, the corporate income tax amount and the dividend tax amount is a real bullet point because they are really very low in comparison with the other countries, and having the opportunity to bringing the goods to the free economical zones without duties and VAT, it is also additional benefit in comparison with the low price of the labor force, the good options for the electricity, because we do still have very competitive prices for the electricity and for the gas, and even with now the green program, when you can build your own solar panels and having the cheap price for the electricity, it is also one interesting issue. So what maybe you can add the additional bullet points why the investors should choose the Moldova and to come in Moldova, and what benefits they can obtain for this?
I think one also a good example for in our opinion is we ask the last two investors who come in Moldova, what is when you see the feedback. Yes, it's important to have the feedback. And one investor who also invests in Morocco and one Central Asia country say for us, yes, Moldova, I think it's available. So for Ukraine, do not have sufficient workforces. It's not Asia. Yes. But it's very important the time for teaching the new employees. It's 1.5 months, and they have 4 or 5 months to teach the new employers in Morocco and some else country. I think this also is an important point. Second, in our opinion, is the free trade agreements. Yes, we have right now, you can access a market, a UE market, CSI market, and also UK, Turkey. We have more or less we have good this collaboration, and we see about regional collaboration or we give examples of Ukraine and Moldova. If I remember, we have more than 30 bilateral treaties between two countries. I think it's easy to make business between these two countries, and also in my opinion, this road and transport connections. Yes, we have Giurgiulești free international port or airport connection with more or less 40 connections, and it's easy to doing business when you have good connection to be near your business. Yes, some example who was given by our investor who are in Moldova.
Thank you. Also, from my side, I would like to share my case. One of my investors from Germany, he told me that if you have the market connections in Europe and you have the production, I mean the resources from the Turkey or former CSI country or even from Asia, you can use Moldova for a processing process. You import in Moldova, I mean you bring in Moldova the goods, then you make processing of these goods in Moldova, and then you re-export them to the Europe, having the Moldova as the very good, interesting logistic hub. And right now, I do have a client who planning to, very interesting scheme, he is planning to import in Moldova the bulk amounts of different goods from China. Then he making it division in the small blocks, in the small bulk parties, and then re-export them to Europe in different European countries in the medium and small clients. So he using Moldova as like this logistic hub and processing center. Vladimir, maybe you can share some examples from your side and about how difficult or how easy is to build the plant in Moldova, because you really have a very good experience on this matter. And I know how huge experience and knowledge on this matter, because can you remind how I think the NDA is not already valid for the plant you built for our common client, and it was a couple of million euro, the price of this plant. And I'm sure that you have some new good success stories to share with the audience.
Yes, but my English is not very good, but I try say few points for my experience. I think Moldova is good point for the logistics hub. All our clients put the production in Moldova for the legatura, să fie
Connections.
Connection between Ukrainian market and the European market. We in Moldova have people who want to work and
this is real our benefit for the market. And maybe you can name the last 5 biggest investments that were done. Maybe for our audience it will be interesting. You may not name the name of the countries, but maybe the numbers. How many numbers were invested? Because as I know, the couple of your projects were evaluated more than 5 or 6 million euro to prepare. They were invested. So maybe what?
Well, I say number of investors.
And yeah, I mean the amount, the amount of the money that were invested. Yeah.
I think it's more 10 millions.
More than 10 millions?
Yeah.
Per each project?
For 2 projects.
For 2 projects. It is for the last year.
Last year.
Ivan, maybe you can also share what is the most interesting project you took part with? Maybe it is the description of the construction hub, or because I know there's a lot of international companies like Fujikura in Moldova and other companies. What is your success stories? What is maybe big names you can share with the audience among your clients?
And I don't know if I can share this information, but the name. But it's investment who has come from Germany, and we have a discussion of this investor about 7 years. Yes, because all of us know to discuss of investor is not 1 month, 2 months to make a decisions. They visit Moldova when the war is starting, day of the war is start. And I remember in this time I was deputy director of Invest Moldova agency, and personally they told for us, because the director for expression in Moldova told for us, please to go to the border to the Romania. I will go with them to the border, and after 2 years they return back to me and say, I see you Moldovan are very good people, in my opinion, and we decide with my risk, because they are director for expansions, with the risk to invest in Moldova. And I think this is one of after 7 years to discussion with this company. I think this is, in my opinion, challenging and most interesting how the period and how to attract. It's not easy. All the countries in competition to attract investments, and this history, in my opinion, describe the reality and all the black sectors to investment and to attract investment in Moldova.
Let's you know, when I was last time on the investing agency of Moldova, they showed me the special magazine with the success stories and the case stories of success in Moldova, and it was more than 40 pages of information. I didn't knew that in Moldova we do have the plant who is production the special plants, which in the whole world there are only 2 plants in the whole world that they are production, one in Japan and one in Moldova.
In Moldova, yes, definitely. We have, in my opinion, we have different good key stories, yes, and we attract a lot investment right now. Moldova attract a lot investment in ICT and BPO, because the IT park and different stories is about IT. But I think it's not our subject. And it's very hard to attract in production on electronics and furniture. Some investments. In title of this presentations, yes, our colleague Tatiana say about or write about MIGA, yes, guarantees. Yes, it's very important to told and to speak for to investor the guarantee who can state give, and the last investment, Ivan, you and the through or good questions, thanks. The last investment who come in Moldova, or the last biggest investment, because for any investors, who else is coming in your country to make an analysis, and they make a difference, and they give someone service.
Also, if when the investors also came in Moldova, we do recommend to perform for them the PESTEL analysis about the risk they would have in Moldova. And if you're going to speak about the legal environment, social, I would say that it's not very high risky country in Moldova, in my opinion, but we still have the big risk, the political risk, and in the current situation, when the elections will be in the October of Moldova, and it is again the decision-making point in Moldova in what direction we continue to go. But what is your assumption? What is your vision? How do you think if it will be very influenced on Moldova market? Does it really influence on investors, the course of Moldova? Because Speaking me, when I see the fluctuation of changings of the political situation in Moldova, it not really influence on investors because the investors, from my point, maybe you have a different perspective, and I would ask you to share this perspective with our audience. Like from my perspective, the investors who invested in Moldova 5, 10, or even 20 years ago, they made 100x profits, having no really political risks because our government, they really, even pro-Russian or pro-Europeans, doesn't matter what course the government will take, but all of them are really very careful with the foreigner investors and they really take care about them. So what is your vision? Should the investor be afraid of the current political situation? Can it influence on them? And do it is problems?
In my opinion, I think the investors who are already here, the feeling it's good aid, yes, in my opinion, because we have an example for last year, and Vladimir will confirm we have reinvestment for one big investor who is in automotive in our country. But also we have and leave or investor who leave the country because they found they found Morocco more attractive. It's different. We do not make any illusion here. And if we speak about investors who want to try, yes, political phenomenon is very important, and we right now feel even the elections in Romania. It's very interesting in investor opinion. They want to hear who is gonna be in front of the chair of president in Romania, and after this to make the decision. But however, we have, in our opinion, we give the answer for potential investor. We put in our constitution the we roles, and I think nevertheless, no, I don't know who is going to be the power of many mandates in our parliament to change this roles. Yes. And I think for us, 60% is done, but in autumn, the election will be in our opinion, for big investor who want to try it for first one Moldova, it's a little bit tricky. Yeah. And we see this input. We have a discussion of big real estate company from Romania who have a portfolio like I don't know, CTP or other big investor in industrial parks, yes. And they ask, and the second questions is about our political stability. I think this is not in top 10, but 11 questions is for all investments, if I respond to your questions.
Thank you. And maybe one question I would like to ask, what is the minimum start amount to consider yourself as investor? I mean, from what amount it is useful to start the investors in to investing in Moldova? From what amount? I mean, from 1 million, from 10 million, from 100 million?
If be very sincerely, we're not Ukraine or Romania or Poland. For in our case, 1 million real investment in Moldova. It's right now it's a big investor. We will start with normal investment because we see and nobody invests real right now in high technology or I don't know, Kuba robots. No. Some lines and what is also the quintessence of our associations. Right now, when we speak with also with Romania partners, our members invest in buildings, yes, in non-residential buildings. But many investors who come do not take some risk in investment or in land right now. They want to rent only, to do not make an investment in buildings. And the guarantee of the buildings is in hands of our developers or our members right now. And I think this also is make an influence or decide the volume of investment in country when we
So
speak about.
let's imagine that I'm an investor and I came to you and saying, okay, Ivan, I do have 1 million and I would like to invest in Moldova. And can you consider the 3 best direction where I should consider the making the investments? And what will be the ROI? What will be return of investor? Because of course I don't want to wait the whole my life. I would like to get them as fast as possible. So what you can recommend me having the 1 million euro and what directions I should to invest and what ROI I can expect?
Yes. First, I think right now Moldova do not have any logistical spaces near Chișinău, unfortunately. I think this is the return of investment in 5 years is for true. Yes, this is the first one. If you have some specific skills or background, we can also speak about building materials and food industry. Yes. Yes, Moldova right now is in the first place, like cereals and plums export in the world. It's good news, but in my opinion, it's bad news because we do not make anything in field of processations. Yes, and it's a green field in this domain. And also, we believe they will start the process of the reconstruction of the Ukraine, and I think the building materials will be very necessary, not only for Ukraine, but also from Moldova, because roads and infrastructure who is planned to assist us from UE, it's about building materials. And these three projects is of return of investment in 5 or 7 years, in top 3, in my opinion. Yes, we do not speak about IT.
So we also can consider the Moldova the good point for future developing of Ukraine. So already collecting here the powers, collecting the people, and then using the Moldova as the hub between the Europe and the reconstructions of Ukraine.
Definitely, and we do not forget about our, I think, relationships of doing business. Yes, from Moldova and Ukraine, we have a historical relations of doing business between these 2 countries. Yes, and when Odessa is close, we feel very much we feel this closing, and also these historical relations. I think, in my opinion, it's a good opportunity to restart, even in reconstruct, but not only. And yes, Ivan, you are true. The logistical hubs will be for Moldova will be a good.
Okay, thank you. Tiana, maybe you have some questions?
Maybe I can go from another direction to what we talked about, because when we work with foreign companies or foreign investors that looking into industrial park field, it's typically we ask few questions to understand what better suits for them. Because my first question typically is, do you have already some productions that you want to expand in Ukraine or in Moldova? Because it's a first and main point to understand, because if it's only investment, what we're talking about, it's pretty different will be from situation when we can have holding company or group of companies who interested to open their production site in Ukraine or in Moldova. Why? Because from investment point of view, it's really important to see industrial parks not only like a real estate project, but also as a cluster organization that collect similar businesses on one site and allows them to have some collaboration opportunities and also provide them services, not only real estate for sell or rent, but also some additional services as financial or maybe trade services, and also to give an opportunity for these companies to have some shared interests in their businesses. One point. And another point, in case of Ukraine, when we talking about questions, okay, we are big production company, we want to put our production in Ukraine also, or relocate it to Ukraine. And in this case, our main question will be: do this company need to create their own industrial park, or they need to choose with from a huge list of already existing industrial parks, and how to choose a proper one? Because it's as you already mentioned, it's not only the question of some tax and rates that you logistical, but and also it's not only a question about logistics, but also a question about access to working forces and opportunities to have all supplies that this production may need it. So typically, when we have a client company who wants to put production and asking about industrial parks, the main questions: do you need to have cluster infrastructure already existed and you want to be part of it, or you want to organize it from ground zero? Because for big companies, for international producers, they typically came not only with their own production, but they also bring a lot of different smaller companies with them. And it's pretty understandable that all residents of this industrial park will be from their production cycle. And this is really separate cases from that one where we have some, let's say, middle-sized company, and we help them to find a proper place to play their production. So this is my general point. On the other hand, you already mentioned questions about war and so on and so forth. I understand that all of us are impacted by war in Ukraine, and we typically have this question in every meeting with potential investors. Okay, how you affected by the war? How we can mitigate risks that we have because of that? And I think main point here for Moldova, it's less, but you have border with Ukraine, so you also have this risk. For Ukraine, we definitely have all risk regarding war. But what I can say now, and we have these conversations all over with different investors, we have war now, but it will not go for decades. It will stop at some point. So to have a really good position and to have a best point in the market, it's a great time to start conversations about investment now. Yes, before war stopped. And I'm talking now not only about Ukraine, but about Moldova also. So it's better to start this conversation now, to have first-hand opportunities when war stops. It's also our question from LinkedIn about how does this affect investment climate. Before war, I had a lot of conversations with investors in IT sector, in production, so on and so forth, and it was not so huge interest for our territory. And what I see now, I see some really big interest and potential and interest not only in just investment, but also in finding partners in face of Ukrainian companies with whom investors could do business. Also, it's one of the I think main points that I recommended to companies that want to invest. So when it's not only financial investments, but also business investment, we typically recommend to find a local partner. I think it's also a good working mechanism for Moldavian colleagues. Ion, what do you think?
Yes, and just Tatiana, thank you. Just to complete, and the character of the questions and the potential investor will change. The war change more, and character of investment also, because until to war we have some questions about, I don't know, purchasing, more automotive, but after war will start and the questions for the potential investor come. It's about construction materials, electronics, and all the globally situations are affected. Electronics also, we have historical sectors, pharma grow, and I think a little bit structure of investment was change. And the questions is similar. What is war affected, was not affected, but we want to give some answers and some guarantees or some example who are investors. And yes, you are true, Tatiana, because first was served. Yes, if you are coming and be logistical here, you will be ready to be in process to reconstruct or to help Ukraine.
And also, it's you made a great point about logistics, because when we're talking about pool of investors who are interested only in real estate projects, so they're not into industrial parks because of interest in production, but more because of they're interested in real estate. Typically, we ask them. Are they sure they need to build something in an industrial park form? Because, for example, logistics, like only real estate projects, could be much more profitable than an industrial park in general. So statistically, on another hand, if investors have some niche expertise or understanding of potential residents, international residents, industrial park could be much profitable than logistics. Also, I want to share with you a small prognosis about fields, because you already mentioned what sectors will grow in Moldova. We also have our statistic in Ukraine. So IT definitely something that's important for Moldova and Ukraine both ways. But what we definitely will have, agriculture, energy, and manufacturing. In our specific, we definitely will have a huge defense industry, and we definitely will have a growth of infrastructure, because a lot of infrastructure objects are already damaged, and we need to restore them. Agriculture typically is a big part of our economy. What we see now, it's a huge interest in not only agriculture growing, but also about production and from field to store, full cycle production, this kind of stuff. Definitely it will be about export. I will not be here long. Industry and manufacturing, we have a gap. We had a gap because of war and because of all these uncertainty times. We had the COVID before, so. But we definitely will have step-by-step growth in industrial and manufacturing direction. Here's our projections for that. Big part of this production sector will be defense, as I already mentioned, but also all the facility repairs direction will grow, and we already have few investments that already made it, and they started building production sites already. So. All building materials and so on and so forth type of production will grow. Food processing and energy efficiency, it's also a huge priority. And logistics sector, as we already mentioned, I think it's definitely big separate stuff in Ukraine. When we're talking about industrial parks, typically in construction of industrial park, we try to put a big logistic part of every industrial park. We also have separate logistic parks without production sites. Nevertheless, all these blocks will be definitely interesting after war stopped, and logistic will return to a normal amount as it was. So definitely interesting for both Moldova and Ukraine. It's border crossing infrastructure, road, railways. That's something that needs to be repaired and built back. Warehouse and storage facilities. We already have a big market for that, and but needable market much bigger, and the port capacity also needs to grow. You already mentioned that tech parks and this regime is not a topic of our discussion today, but what I want to mention, it's a huge importance of innovation and R&D part, even in industrial parks. And we have a good example. We have a good example in industrial parks all over the world when innovation part was a main point of connections between residents in industrial park, and we need to think about opportunity of creation these innovation points. And sometimes what we see now in for example, industrial parks near Kyiv, it's collaboration between universities, R&D institutions, huge manufacturers, and initiators of industrial parks, management company of industrial parks that work together to make industrial park not only production site, but also the place where innovation are born. And energy sector, I think we need to look into this direction really carefully, and also consider in every our project not only good infrastructure in general, but also energy efficiency and opportunity to not rely on the general system. So few years ago, a question about eco-industrial parks and all alternative energy stuff in industrial parks was more like a marketing, or sometimes like, okay, we can do it or we can do not do it. It's not so important, but now we definitely need to think about it and make our projects as much independent as we can do them. I think it will be all from my side for now. Maybe you have questions.
Yeah, Tatiana, I would like you to ask the question. Sometimes I'm speaking with the foreigner investors, and my vision as the person who traveling to Kyiv for the last 2 years permanently, maybe every 2 months, every each month, and see you in the Kyiv on the 21st of May when the huge Vision 2030 conference will be held, and I will be also speaker there. So my vision is that the Kyiv is really, and Ukraine now, it is not the country in the war as it is showed on the media. And my assumption and my vision is that if you start investing in Ukraine now, you have a very huge benefit and very big gap in time. So do you feel the same? And if the investors are really may consider now Ukraine as the investing interesting country?
Mm-hmm. I think what is important to understand now, it's regarding not only Ukraine, but in general on all conflicts all over the world, that war in our typical imagination, how we see it in films, historical films that we saw, yeah, it's in reality now it's looking a little bit different. We have different technology of war. We have different situation in the country who are affected by war. So in Ukraine, yes, you definitely can see Kiev with typical business style working and so on and so forth. You will see a lot of companies who work in the same way. A lot of conversation, negotiations going, and on another hand, you will see, and next day you can see dead people on the street, and because we had bombs from Russians that night. It's how reality in Ukraine looks like, and it's our new reality that you need to consider. So. Does your country affected by war? Yes. Is it something that needs to stop you from looking into this country as an investment opportunity? No. Do you need to consider the risk? Yes. And do you need to start negotiations before war stopped? Definitely yes. Because we don't have a lot of entrepreneurs who run away from a country. They or stayed or maybe freeze their assets if they can't proceed now, but they will definitely return. What they do have a lot of energy and opportunities to grow together with international partners. So I think the main point that will be profitable for all of us today, it's to find niche partner for businesses and to start, maybe not to build, but definitely negotiate how this business will grow. And I know for sure a lot of Ukrainian entrepreneurs who opened second, for example, production somewhere in Europe. They will return for their headquarters in Ukraine, and it will be definitely their main office. If I ask.
So we can say firstly came, firstly served.
Yes,
So,
I like this.
Okay, so higher risk, higher income. So it's always like on the investing and opportunist world. I would share also one story of success. I do have an old company partner from Ukraine. The company name is Praga. They provide and produce the kombucha, and they tripled for the last year, and now they do make expansion from Ukraine to Europe, and all productions now in Ukraine. Yes, they have the. I would share also one company partner from Ukraine, and this is a very interesting story. It is not. They of course they do have the huge problems that, but I would say that Ukrainian people are really very amazing how you go through these difficult times and how you overcome yourselves, and showing that the real people don't have the limits, and you have the very huge the view of life. And this is really admiring when I look at you. So
thank you, Ivan. Maybe I can add some little points here about Ukraine, but I think it's working also for Moldova. What we have as an opportunity now, it's not only like direct investment as as direct as it could be, but also to find business mechanisms to create something new and really profitable. This type of mechanisms that may be not so affordable or open in other countries. And I see day-by-day communication with Ukrainian entrepreneurs with whom we work and with international investors who came here, because simple point could be, okay, we just move our production into industrial park and that's all. But smart move could be creation a cluster around this production. Creation, for example, in what we do with the military direction, dual purpose companies now, we help them not to move their production to Ukraine, but open innovation offices in Ukraine to be able to be on the first line of R&D. And this is like an example of these smart moves that could be done. Same thing for these partnership companies, like German-Ukrainian companies together that organize their business affairs and, for example, go for an IPO somewhere in Europe, and so on and so forth. A lot of mechanisms. Industrial park, one of them, but it's not only. And it could be combined in pretty interesting system that work great for all participants.
So I hear it is this way. This is the unique historical moment when it is possible with the good, smart decisions to find out very interesting opportunities to being invested in. So we really don't see the similar situation in the hand direction, I mean, in the nearest countries. So this is a situation, Ukraine, Moldova, and this region, it is really possible opportunities for the smart investors. So it is not really easy money, but it is smart money.
Yeah, and interesting money.
And interesting money, yeah.
Just to complete your colleagues, I think we have a recently discussion of Romanian colleagues. Not forgot recently, yes, historically points. First of all, the program of arming who gone from UE, yes, is 800 trillion euro, if I correctly said. I think it's a good opportunity even for, yes, all of these three countries, Romania, Moldova, and Ukraine. And second, this investment treaty of USA and Ukraine also was an indicator for investors, potential investors. I think it's good to answer for questions how it's gonna be to first came for first services. Yes, it's some answers, good answers for investor questions. In my opinion, in our opinion, we use this if we can told about the FDI attracting instruments. Yes, we use this.
Maybe also what I can add that European Commission is a big structure, and other participants as EBRD, World Bank, so on and so forth, they developed already and also working on different mechanisms of insurance for international investors and companies who want to go to Ukraine, and I think for Moldova it's also working. So it's insurance for war risks on one hand. On another hand, we also have Ukrainian facilities that co-invest with investors who plan to go to Ukraine together. And if I'm not mistaken, there are already a few dozens of projects every for 50 million euros per project that will be co-financed by European Commission in Ukraine, and it's all of them from these directions that I mentioned are important for Ukraine.
Okay, guys, I think we also should forget all the funds that are now attracting from the European Union to all these directions, because we have a huge funds that offering to the Moldova and to Ukraine right now, and this is also an opportunity. But I think this is another big issue and for another huge webinar that we can present to our audience. I think that we very deeply go through this very interesting case and topic. I don't see any much additional questions, and I think we go through very interesting and very useful for the possible investors. I just would like to remind, if someone from our audience would like to ask additional questions, I would gladly give you this chance and opportunity. You can raise your hand.
I have a question, Ion.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me to speak,
Yeah.
and thank you for allowing me to be invited to this Crow group. Thank you very much for providing this forum.
Can you briefly represent yourself, your name, what your business, and then you can ask the question.
Yeah, I was kindly invited by LinkedIn through some colleagues on LinkedIn, but I'm a proprietor, a director of an energy company in the United States. I focus on microgrid development and investment. And the clients that I work with are municipalities and corporations and industrial parks. And their basic need is energy efficiency and energy delivery and resilience. Usually in the United States, you think about microgrids, you think about carbon reduction, but in other parts of the world, it's resilience. This is a major part of what I do is infrastructure. As we can look at Eastern Europe as a very advanced society with a workforce and with an intellectual base, energy is triggered by that. So Moldova is a gateway. There's not many forums I've participated with Moldova, but Moldova is a gateway for my interest with my associates because of its ability, geopolitically aside, it's because of its proximity to the Black Sea. Its relativity to the infrastructure redevelopment of Ukraine, but more important, its neutrality. I think neutrality is very important as we move dollars from investors into the Black Sea economy. And I think infrastructure and investment, especially from the West, is imminent in the Eastern European sphere. And to be a part of a forum where people are engaging these conversations as you are, is very important that these conversations are happening. And it's very thankful that they're here early because this infrastructure delivery is going to happen. And as it happens, it would be very important for companies as my own, being part of the West, to be invited and to be allowed to be considered to participate in the conversations, if not the future investment of a prime asset like Moldova. So my question is, relative to Ukraine, is we all know what's going to happen with the infrastructure redevelopment. Do you see that as a logistic hub of preeminence versus other countries participating in the infrastructure, Western money coming into Ukraine? Do you see Moldova being a pivotal platform versus, say, other regional countries, Poland or Baltics itself? Do you see Moldova having a premier position? I think it does, but I'd like to know what your thoughts are.
Thank you for the question. Maybe if you let me, I will start, and Ion, you can add me. To start this, I would like simply to share the screen, and so do you see my screen? The map? So
I see a map. Yes, I see a map.
Okay, so this is the Google Maps, yeah. So we can see this is Ukraine, and do we see the Poland on the border, Slovakia, Hungary, and the Romania, the main borders with Ukraine, and of course we do see the possible Turkey. And if we think about the regions where the main infrastructure projects will be, of course, it is the east of the Ukraine and the center of Ukraine. So if we compare the labor price, the price of the labor power, the taxes, the fiscal opportunities, and the cost, the price for the renting of the land, the prices for the electricity, the gas, and so on. My assumption is that geographically Moldova is the most of the best solution. It is closer. It is easier to reach the necessary regions for performing the investments. It is easier to start collection here and collecting the important utilities in order then easily then to move to Ukraine in comparison with the other EU countries. So this is from my point of view. Ivan, what do you think on this matter?
Yes, and I would like to just to give some figures. Our industrial park, for example, from Stefan, it's around 100 kilometers to Odessa, yes, for your understanding. And we make a lot to governmental make a lot in Ukraine and Moldova because we have one common border when you go to on one common border control when you go to Odessa. And do not forget, we say all to we have this historical doing business culture, if we can see about this, and all our before war, all our export and imports in Chisinau and Moldova, it's by the way from Odessa. We have these relationships and good historical relations with this region, who was, by the way, right now very or is affected Odessa and Nikolaev. And second, for these questions, I think that right now, if we see it or have to see it the Romanian map, they develop a lot the infrastructure who connect Moldova and Ukraine. If we can speak today about S7 and I-8 autobahns, is two biggest infrastructure projects in Romania. They connect the northeast part of Ukrainian, the Chernobyl region with Constanța port, and also Moldova with directly with Hungary. Yes, it's a big project who I think give exactly answer the with logistical part of these maps of this work.
Thank you. Does anyone have additional questions that we can answer on this matter? Okay, colleagues. From my perspective, I really appreciate Ion, Tatiana for this situation, and we can move forward for the next discussing about the other opportunities for making the webinars and opening these interesting themes to our audience. So if you would like to add something at the end, please share with the audience, and then we can move to finalizing our presentation.
Dear Ivan, dear Tatiana, thank you. Dear Pro team, thank you for for the opportunity it was giving and for your time. We appreciate it. And dear guests, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us. What I definitely can say in the end that main point is to really understand and do have one point what you definitely want to have in result and build all strategy around it. There are a lot of different ways to do it, and I think all of our speakers today are experts and can help with that. So we definitely will be ready to work on your tasks. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, colleagues, thank you one more time. Have a good working week and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Хорошо.
Bye.